Hey, what's up, guys? Let's talk about the CBDC today. No, it's not a drug, it's not cannabis. I'm talking about the central bank digital coin. Now, for those of us who are familiar with crypto, you probably feel like, why do we need this? Why are all the governments are looking into this thing called a central bank issued digital coin? Aren't we already digital? Because when we use credit card, when we pay things online, aren't all the money digital already? Well, there's some truth to that, but it's not exactly the truth. There's a difference. So when you buy things in credit card, on the internet, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. When you send money in the world, traditional money, and you send it across borders, it needs to go through a ton of different parties. And this article here lays it out really well. So let's read about it. I think this is the best article on CBDC that I've read so far. So I'd like to share that with you today. So let's go into it. So let's see. What is CBDC then? Well, the term implies it's a digital money issued directly by a central bank. In our case, in the United States, the Federal Reserve. You might assume that you're already using digital money right now since you rarely use cash anymore. Some of us don't use cash anymore. That's right. We all walk around with our credit cards, and because it's so easy to make payments, right? You don't need to carry a wad of cash in your wallet because one, somebody can rob you very easily, and two, if your credit card gets robbed, you could easily call the company and cancel it right away so you don't lose a lot of money. So instead of buying everything with credit cards or digital payment app, you use that instead. So you impose buy something on Amazon and do these things with ones and zeros and whatnot over the internet, and boom, numbers are moved between accounts. So a lot of us take that for granted. Seems that hey, we are already in this digital money age, right? All of it just work out of the box. Yeah, companies like Visa or MasterCard who will process your payments very easily. You can also do bank transfers. It seems like we're already in it. So what is the need for this? Well, you have to look at what's behind the scene. That's the difference. A lot of these magic that is just worked, it depends on a lot of infrastructure in the back end. And a lot of these infrastructures are not efficient and they are very dated. So, all right, let's do it. But in the truth, the process of moving money from A to B is vastly more complicated than that. It involves the tangle of payment processors, banks holding federal debt, financial clearinghouses, and if your money cross-border, international communication and exchange system like the SWIFT. So if you've been paying attention to the news in Russia, you probably know that we just banned the whole world just banned Russia from the SWIFT system. So they cannot make international payments. So that's what's going on when you make the payments internationally. You have to go through the SWIFT system. So since generally the actual money itself doesn't move, each institution must take a risk to fulfill your transaction by setting promises, sending, transfer, verifying receipt funds. So naturally, many fees are collected along the way for such services. Now, if you ever sent anything in the past, you know that there are many fees associated with these services. Whenever you send money to another party, another country, when you pay with your credit card, they always charge you a little bit of fee for the service in order to keep these infrastructures running in the background. So that is the traditional system. That's the world we live in right now, if you are not familiar. So what will the CBDC solve? Well, CBDC will bypass all of this. Essentially, it's a centralized Bitcoin. That's what I would think of it. I think if the Fed was the central government want to come up with a system where you don't need any of these guys and have a way to publicly keep a ledger, then a centralized Bitcoin system is what a CBDC system should be. So a CBDC system would radically simplify all of this. A customer opens an account directly with the country's independent central bank, let's say the Federal Reserve. Well, it's far from independent. And the central bank issues digital money to you. Let's say we call it Fed coin to your accounts. Now you can have an app called the Fed Wallet app. That's just an example. You have this app and it's basically the money that you carry with you. The customer can transact, can initiate transfers with this system, and the digital money is depleted in one account and recreated in another instantaneously. No middleman, no promises is needed. Every transaction is permanently recorded on a digital cryptographic ledger in real time. Now, the only difference is this system is owned by the Federal Reserve, by the centralized bank. Whereas Bitcoin, it's owned by nobody because every computer in the whole world can participate in securing the network. So you cannot be centralized. You cannot shut down Bitcoin. There's zero chance of you hacking or shutting down Bitcoin. Compared to Federal Reserve, so that's the first criticism I have on this CBDC system is that it's centralized. It's owned by the central bank. It's basically a shittier version of Bitcoin. So it's like kind of like Bitcoin, but exquisitely centralized managed. The Fed retains complete oversight and control over the creation. So that's the big problem I have with this. However, you like it or not, countries are moving towards that. The United States government recently have came out and say that they will focus on creating a system like this, and they want to ensure that this system works and it can slowly transition the community into that. Now, what country in the world have already done this? Well, did you know that in China, where it's a communist country where they control society, they control your life, every aspect of your life. So China have already released this in their government, in their society, and they're currently beta testing. So only a small amount of people have the centralized digital currency called the digital yuan. So they're already putting it into a limited number in their country. So what they're doing now is they are able to bypass all the SWIFT system if they continue to do this and succeed. And with the current if the current political things going on with Russia and all that, so since Russia is shut out of the SWIFT system, they have chosen to use the Chinese system for now. And eventually, I think it's a very centralized system and it fits well in the Chinese communist government. I don't think this will fit well in the United States government because we value freedom. So in China, people have been using it and the government have encouraging people to use it by providing incentives to them. So what this means is that they have now even larger control over their citizens, because there's a famous quote like, if you want to win a war against a country, you don't have to fight. You just control the economy, you control the money, and you will control the country. And essentially, that's what these digital money is. They control every aspect of your life. That's my warning to you. And that's what this article is going towards. So I want you to think about what this means. If the government controls the money that's going in your app, that's like having all of your money in a company like Apple. Let's say a company like Apple, right? They own your iCloud account, they own your phone account. They can shut it off anytime for any reason. So they have more control over that. And when you get control, it's like Twitter. It's like Donald Trump, right? He got banned from Twitter. Twitter can ban the president of the United States because he was using their platform. Now think about this. If the government of the United States creates a centralized coin, they now own the platform that you operate your life on. Think about it. That's what the Fed coin is. And that's what CBDC essentially is. So if you scroll out to this article, they give you a very, very scary scenarios in the future. Let's say the Fed coin was implemented and we are now, let's say 20 years later in the future, everyone's using this CBDC coin. We no longer use cash. We're a cashless society. No credit cards, nothing. You have one app in your phone called the Fed coin and you use it for every single transaction on the whole country. All right, here's the scenario. You await to find today's special. It's Stimmy Day. You roll over and check your phone. You see a notification from your Fed wallet letting you know that another 2,000 in Fed coin has just been added directly to your account by the US Reserve. Now you might think, oh, this is so great. It's so efficient, right? Instead of waiting for a check to arrive in my bank, now the Federal Reserve can just send money directly via this app to your account. You all of a sudden, you have 2,000 Fed coin directly, fast. I like it, cool. Okay. To be honest, part of you will love to save that money for the long term, given that things have been getting wrong, answering and kind of crazy lately with the war and economy, but you can't, since these Fed coins are coded as usable for customer purchases only. and will expire and vanish in 7 days. So you better spend them while you can. Now here's the first real example of the control that the Fed can have on your coin. These are not just money that you can spend anything on. There's certain restrictions in what you can do with the money. So some of these restrictions kind of exist today, like with credit card companies. Like some cards, you can only spend it on some locations. So I would not be surprised if the Fed do something similar. If they give you a stimulus coin, they want you to only spend it on groceries, for example. And they will vanish in 7 days. So these are like the examples of the restrictions that the level of control they have on your wallet, on your money. This is your money. So, okay, the latest playbox is even everyone plays Elden Ring. The Ring is the hottest VR game in the metaverse right now. And you really want to join in. Since you're stubborn, old-fashioned, you decide to check out Basil Mart on the way home from work today before you get it delivered. So, the first you begin your day, as I always do, you do a quick stop at a local Starbucks, automated. Okay. Opening your Fed Wallet app and vaguely waving your smartphone at the machine is enough to complete the transaction. $14 in Fed coins are instantly deleted from your digital account and the Fed and recreated Starbucks coin. So you get a coffee, $14. Okay. The morning starts to go downhill quick. However, when you realize that your SUV is almost out of gas, you pull the old clunker with okay. A doe-eyed teenager face mask insert a nozzle into your vehicle and wait for you to pay. You wave your phone at the pump, nothing happens. You try again, your phone buzzes. You look at it, there's a message from the Fed. You have already spent more than the $400 maximum weekly limit on fossil fuel specified by the Fed wallet user agreement. Your remaining account balance cannot be used to purchase non-renewable energy resources. People, please take an alternative purchase. Have you considered a clean, affordable new vehicle, EV? Thank you for doing your part. So now you're getting shit ads on your phone on what you can spend your money on. So if you spend too much money on old fossil fuel, that means like not clean energy, it's bad for the country apparently. So the Fed cannot control what you make, your decision, your spending decisions, in order to move people towards something new, like an EV. So as you can see here, this is a very, very creepy thing, because now you're affecting people's decision. And what does that mean? That means the Fed now controls your life. What you can or cannot do in your life all depends on this single wallet. Do you see how powerful this is? When people control your money, they can control your spending habits, they can control where you spend your money, and they can control how much you spend your money. This is scary. Now, of course, they're going to say like, oh, this is, it's more efficient than the old system. We don't have to do it. Now, think about it. Because now every single transaction you do in your life is going to be tracked by the government, by the Fed, everything. So even when you, like people who are, like your taxes, right? I see the benefit is that when you do your money, your income and all that, something like come to your, like all the money go to your bank account, all of that will automatically be tracked, and come IRS time, they know exactly how much you make and how much you owe. So it's all automated. You don't have to do anything. But I see the innovation in that. That's great. But what's to stop them from doing something like some of the examples I just mentioned? Like dictating what you can spend and how much you can spend and how soon you can spend your money, your hard-earned money. This is completely dystopian. And it's a completely opposite philosophy of what something like a decentralized system like a Bitcoin is. Because this is completely centralized, and I think it's very, very creepy. So, and one of the other big downside is that if everything is digital and on your phone, and we no longer have cash money, that means you need to have a system, have an internet where it works everywhere, all the time, at all times. Because if the internet is down, then there's no way for you to do any transaction. So, although we are kind of close to having an internet, Wi-Fi, like 3G, 4G, satellite internet, we're still not at the stage yet where we can have complete internet access all the time. So this is one of the big requirements for this to work. So I want you to read this article. There's a lot in there. I highly recommend you read it. So in the end, basically the gist is that the downside far outweigh the upside. So I really want to make sure this thing doesn't come true in the United States. And I really don't want that, because this is great for countries like a communist country, but definitely not good for a capitalistic society like the United States. So I want you guys to read this and then let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you like this article and let me know what you know. So please like and subscribe to my video and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.